Okie dokie. So we are doing a review of factoring, and we're actually leading the review of factoring trinomials with a is greater than 1. Also, thank you if you haven't done so already. Please hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, all that other kind of good stuff. Just don't hit your friends. So, yeah, you can hit me up with a good comment. I like a good comment. Uh, we're using this to actually step into quadratics. Now, in the great state of Alabama, we decided, hey, let's not teach factoring with a greater than 1 in algebra 1. Let's just throw it at them in algebra 2. That was a great idea when we were in algebra 1. But now we're in algebra 2, so I had to kind of piece that together. All right. Now, this is not the be all end all way of factoring. Okay? Just there's other options. I had a student, they said, Mr. Jeffries, my test is going to take me forever because I'm a trial and error person. I'm like, I like it because that's how I started. Okay. I don't, I don't, how long it takes you to take a test does not bother me. All right. So, factor by grouping. I wonder why this is kind of like this. It might be important. When there are 4 terms, that's going to be a key role in stuff that we're going to do. Now, as a quick reminder, remember the GCF of numbers is the largest number that will divide into 2 terms evenly. All right. And then this is what's confusing because, math is backwards. The GCF of variables is actually the smallest exponent between the terms because that's the only thing that you can take out of it. All right. So we have this problem right here. We're going to factor it. Okay. So the first thing we have to do, and I've actually done it for you, is you would group these terms with parentheses. Okay. That's what's called factor by grouping.
Wow.
Okay. Now, if we look right here, and I'll try to do this because I know some people will. All right. What is the biggest number that we can take out of this grouping right here? 1. Yeah. Yeah. Because x doesn't actually have a number, it's 1. All right. What's the smallest exponent? Okay. X to the third, x to the third. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this out here. All right. Over here in this last grouping, what's the biggest number I can divide out of 2 and 8? 2. Now, can I take out an x? No, because it doesn't have an x. Okay. All right. So after that, we divide out. I say divide out. If I say factor constantly, some of y'all are going to like revolt and try to throw me out the window. I'll bounce, but it's going to be fun. So if I have 4 x's and I take out 3 of them, how many x's do I have left? Yeah, because that's what I just did. I just divided that out. Okay. If I have 3 x's right here and I divide those 3 out, how many x's do I have left? None. I just have this 4. Okay. Now, if I divide the 2's out, what's going to be left right here? X. And what's 8 divided by 2? 4. All right. Very key thing if this is the method that you are using. What is right here, I like to call the leftovers. Okay, because they're kind of like in their own little Tupperware thing. Sorry, allergies. That has to match. Okay, now we're going to put our GCFs together. That's these terms. We're going to say x to the third plus 2. And then our leftovers go together right here. All right. Now, that is the method of factoring by grouping. Some people will love this method, and that's fine. And we appreciate them just the same. That's their spot in the universe. Okay. Now, the other method I kind of like because for me, it's a little bit, it organizes it. As you can tell, we're in week 3. It already looks like my filing cabinets have exploded over here. Okay. So the other method is the same problem, but we're going to do it with the box method. Okay. So what we do is we actually put each term, we make this grid. Oh, somebody was so nice and made it for you. You put each term in a box. Okay. Just, you should not be confused. I just put each term in a box. Okay. I took a term, I put it here. I took a term, put it here. Now I put the signs in front of them so because they may play a part later. Okay. Now it says find the GCF of each row. That's this way. So if I'm looking right here, I have x to the fourth and 4x to the third. Well, that would be our 1x to the third that we had earlier, right? I'm just looking right here. Okay. Now I'm going to look at this row right here. Rows go this way, columns up and down. Okay. So on this row, our GCF is going to be a 2. All right. Now I look at the columns. That's the up and down. So I'm looking right here. This stuff. Well, the GCF right here looks to be an X. And I'm looking right here. This is a plus 4. So guess what? That's it. You put the rows together and the columns together. Now some people are like, that seemed like less work. Some people like this method. Some people do not. Some people get really confused because they're like, what's a row and a column? Well, think about it. If you think about the thing, you row your boat. I'm pretty sure your boat doesn't go vertically up in the air. Okay, it goes horizontally. So if one's horizontal, the other one has to be vertical. Some of y'all just pictured somebody rowing like one of the old Bugs Bunny cartoons where they're actually trying to row up the waterfall. I know. I'm right there with you. All right. So, this is what I'd like for you to do. We're going to step through these two problems right here as my voice cracks. Okay. Now, I'm going to do each one like I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this by grouping, and I'm going to do this one by the box. Okay, just to show you. All right, to be fair to everybody. All right. So right here, number 1. First thing you do is what? Yeah, group them in parentheses. Now, something kind of important. You see I grouped that negative right there? That might be important. Okay. So let's look. We have x to the third and 3x squared. What's the smallest exponent? X squared. Okay. So I could go ahead. I can divide that out. I'll just put it right here. Well, if I have 3x's and 2 of them mysteriously disappear, I have 1. And if I have 2x's and they mysteriously disappear, I'm left with this. Okay. Now, because this is a negative, because this term is negative, I have to factor out a negative first thing. Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. We will see it a lot more today. All right. Now, what's the biggest number that will divide 7 and 21? Okay. And there's no other x's, so that's what we would do. So a negative 7 divided by a negative 7 is it's a positive 1, so we're left with just x. A negative 21 divided by a negative 7, 3. All right. Does our leftovers match? Yeah. So we knew we did it right. So now we write it like this. Okay. Somebody said that's too much. I'm not going to say the person who I thought said that. That would be wrong. What? No, that's okay. Well, in a class of 30 teenagers, it could be anybody. I'm like, write your name. Oh, too much work. Okay. All right. So that was by grouping. We're going to do this one by the box method. All right, box method. I put each term in a box. Okay. Step 1, put the terms in the box. All right. Now we look at the rows. Okay, I'm looking right across. I'm looking at this row right here. Okay. What's the biggest number I can divide out of 10 and 25? Are you telling me, or are you just, yes, it is 5. Okay. What's the smallest exponent between x to the third and x squared? X squared. Okay. Now I'm looking at this bottom row. I have 4 and 10. What's the biggest number that can divide 4 and 10? 2. Okay. Yeah, some people would have said 4 minus 10 and given me 6. That happens. All right. Now, we've done the rows. Let's look at the columns. I'm looking at this column right here. Okay. So what's the biggest number that will divide 10 and 4? 2. Oh, even giving me the variable. Look at you. And yes, x to the first is the smallest one. Okay. Same way like we had over here, this first number is negative, so I know I got to take out a negative. Okay. What's the biggest number that will divide 25 and 10? 5. And we're done. Now, you don't like the box method? Huh? The box method? Yeah, I I kept hearing. Listen, I didn't know about the box method until about like 5 or 6 years ago. I know that's bad. And I was teaching Algebra 1, and Miss Rice was in here, and all the students kept saying box method, box method. And I'm like, what the heck is the box method? So Miss Rice took about 5 minutes and did a problem on the board, and then showed, and then I was like, why would I ever not do the box method? Okay. Now, some people do not like the box method. Some people, they have to do the GCF, divide, regroup. Some people like that. Just like some people like pineapple on their pizza and some people don't. That's okay. We're not going to get into that discussion. Hang on one second. I have a phone call. Thank you for calling Mr. Jeffers' room. You're calling number one of the day. No way! Yeah, Miles is in class. Did you check in? He said, yeah. All right, thank you. Bye bye. I don't know. People call me all the time wanting stuff. All right. So that's our two methods. Now, some of y'all may be thinking, Mr. Jeffries, how does this apply to what we're doing today? Believe it or not, this, what we've done so far, is kind of like the warm up. I need y'all in that mindset. Okay. Some of y'all like, my mind is set to not do math. Okay. Well, I know that. That's why I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Okay. Am I going to be successful? Probably not. Probably not. All right. All right. AC bus B. All right. Remember that they look like this, and it would really help if I would write the X in the correct manner. There we go. Okay. So some of y'all are like, that's a lot of words. That's a lot of blanks. Remember, this is after, just like we did on Friday, after a while, this is what you should be saying in your head. You might not need this written down. Okay. All right. So I've got A is 2, B is 7, and C is 6. Okay. That's important to know because if you don't know which letter's what, you're in trouble. All right. So we're going to multiply A and C. So we're going to say 2 times 6 is 12. All right. Okay. Are you sure? Are you with us now? That 2 times 6 was a little scary. Where'd the numbers come from? All right. So I put my AC, what I got right here, I put it right here. Okay, like we were doing with that T chart. Now, you don't have to do the T chart. Some people it just helps. I know I already got some of those looks like, God, okay. Believe it or not, what we're trying to find is the factors of 12 that will come out and give us our B, which is 7. Okay. Now, some people will do it like this, and some people will automatically know them. I cover it all. All right. Which numbers, when we multiply them, we get 12, but when we combine them, we get 7, 3, and 4. So these are the numbers right here. So what we're doing is we're replacing this 7 with this 3 and 4. So I'm going to put 3x right here, and I'm going to put 4x right here. Because I busted the B. Okay. I stepped on it, and its guts of a 3 and a 4 came out. I mean, I don't know. All right. Now we factor by grouping like we did earlier. So we put these in parentheses. Okay. All right. What's the biggest number that will divide 2x squared and 3x? 1. And are you giving me the x? Awesome. So if I have two x's, I take one away and then have an x. Pew. All right. So there's my first leftover. Okay. What's the biggest number that will divide 4 and 6? Dose, 2. I need to learn 2 in some other languages. Huh? What is 2 in Korean? Dun, dun, dun. All right. Our GCFs go together. All right. Our leftovers go together. Now, believe it or not, this was how we used to teach this in Algebra 1 for a multitude of years. This is not how I learned how to do it. I was told to try to find the factors and figure it out. Yeah. What first part? All right. You see how I said what's the GCF between 2x squared and 3x? Y'all said 1x. All right, so it's right here. So I'm dividing it out, and what's in the parentheses is what's left. Okay, what's the GCF between 4x and 6? Y'all said 2. I put the 2 here. I divided it out. I love it when I see students light up like a light bulb. And then I know some people are like a bulb on a strand of lights that's still wadded up in a cardboard box in the attic or garage. Okay, so that's how we can apply the factor by grouping with this AC bust the B. Okay, just like Billy Mays, but wait, there's more. We can also apply the box method to this. I'm going to let let the, you know, what is that called? Oh, the anticipation build. There we go. All right. So I think this is at the top of the back. A lot of it is the same. Okay. It says to put A in the top left. So our A value right here. So this is 2x squared. Okay. All right. And C in the bottom right. Well, that's our C term. It goes here. Okay. Now you might ask yourself, well, what goes into the other two boxes? Well, that's when we did the A times C, the 2 times 6. We got 12. This is our AC. This is our B, which is 7. And we know from previously, because it's the same problem we just did, that we get 3 and 4. So guess what? Guess what goes in these boxes? Yeah. And now we factor like we did with the box method. Start with the row. This row, the GCF is going to be an X. This one's going to be a 2. This one's going to actually be a 2X. Okay, and this one will be a 3. So now that's our answer. Okay, so I've shown you both methods. Okay, I'm going to give you some time to work on some of this on your own. We are going to go over it. If I think that you are drowning, I'll do my best Baywatch lifeguard run in slow motion to try to save you. Okay. But nobody wants to see me run A run entirely or B run in slow motion. That's more jiggling than jello, okay? Just gonna say that. That would be bad. All right. So, um so I'm gonna stop right here for those watching at home. Remember, hit subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell, leave a good comment. Leave something positive. All right. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.